All right, today we're going to go on a journey, but not to a physical place. This is a journey that happens entirely inside your mind. We're going to walk through, step by step, this really powerful visualization practice from a classic Buddhist text.
So let me just ask you, can you imagine a perfect world? Like really picture it. What would you see? What would you hear? Just kind of hold that thought, because we're about to dive into this ancient blueprint that's designed to help you build that exact world, right inside your own mind.
Okay, so our journey kicks off with just a single, focused thought. It's a visualization that kind of sets the stage for everything else that's going to happen, and it's called birth in a lotus.
The instruction itself is, well, it's pretty simple, but it's also incredibly profound. You just have to see yourself, in your mind's eye, being born into what's called the Western Pure Land. Think of it as a realm of just pure bliss, and this one image, this is the absolute foundation for the whole experience.
So the text guides us, right? It tells us to picture ourselves sitting cross-legged, but inside this huge, magnificent lotus flower. You're meant to feel the petals gently close around you, almost like you're in a safe little cocoon. And then there's this moment of anticipation as those same petals start to slowly open back up.
And that opening, that's the big moment. It's the climax of this whole first stage. This is when the vision just bursts into reality. It's like you're awakening into this absolutely extraordinary light.
And wow, what a light it is. Get this, as the petals open, the text describes an explosion of 500 colored lights. Not just a few, 500 different rays of vibrant color, all just erupting from the very center of this flower. It's incredible.
But here's the thing. This light, it's not just something you're supposed to look at. The practice says that these 500 colored rays are meant to shine directly on you, to illuminate your whole body. So that external vision suddenly becomes this really deep, personal, internal experience.
Okay, so now your body is completely bathed in this incredible celestial light. And that's when you get the next instruction. It's time to open your eyes inside the vision. So, what do you think you're going to see?
The scale of what you see is just immense. It's mind-boggling. You see all these celestial beings, Buddhas and bodhisattvas, these enlightened beings who help others. And they're not just hanging around here and there. No, they fill the entire sky. The very first thing you see is this boundless, absolutely breathtaking assembly of beings. But this whole experience isn't just visual. Not at all. It's designed to engage another one of your senses completely. Your hearing. So now let's tune in and listen to the sounds of this Pure Land.
There's this key phrase in the text, mina and myofa, which basically tells us that all the sounds here are expounding the sublime Dharma. What does that mean? It means they're all teaching you something profound. Every single sound in this place is packed with wisdom.
So where are these teachings coming from? Well, literally everywhere. The sound of the water flowing, the calls of the birds, the rustling of the trees in the wind, and yeah, of course, the actual voices of the Buddhas. The whole environment is alive. It's a living symphony, and it's all teaching you.
Okay, so we've seen this incredible world, we've heard it, but what's the point? What does it all mean? Well, the text is actually super clear about how we're supposed to understand this practice and what its purpose really is.
This whole thing actually has a name. It's called Pu Guanzhang, which translates to the universal contemplation. And that's exactly what it is. It's the practice of seeing this entire vision, the whole shebang, from the moment you're born in the lotus, all the way to hearing that symphony of Dharma. And then the text makes a really, really important distinction. If you follow these exact steps, it's called a correct contemplation. But, and the source is super explicit about this, any other way of doing it, that's an incorrect contemplation. So the path is very, very precise. So you might be asking, why does it matter so much? What's the big deal about getting it right? Well, the payoff is huge. The text says that if you do this correct contemplation, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will actually start visiting you, even in your day-to-day life. It's like the vision starts to bleed over into your reality.
All right, but there's one last instruction, and the text really emphasizes this one. It's pretty much the key to making this whole thing work in the long run. Here it is. The absolute most crucial part is what you do after the meditation is over. After you exit the state of concentration, as the text says, you have to remember the vision. You have to hold on to that whole sequence, the light, the beings, the sounds, everything.
You can't just let it fade away. So the practice, you see, is just as much about memory as it is about imagination.
And all of this kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about, doesn't it? This entire incredibly vivid experience, it all happens without ever opening your physical eyes. So it really makes you wonder, is seeing something you do with your eyes, or is it really fundamentally an act of the mind? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this journey.